Hello, this is Julian with Coffee Reviews, and today we'll be reviewing the Ethiopia Layered-Ferment Bombe from Onyx Coffee Lab. And there's the box right there. Alright, and I just wanted to read this information from their box. It says a meticulous layering of different ferment levels after depulping. Onyx does have a brew guide for this specific coffee on their YouTube channel, so if you're curious a little bit more about the processing methods, then check out that video. I'm going to talk a little bit more about their brew guide in this video, just in a little bit. A couple of quick things I wanted to get out of the way first. First being, this coffee obviously was featured in my blind taste test video, another subscriber recommendation, and it finished first in that blind taste test video. Of course, the reason I was able to tell it was this coffee was it was a super peachy coffee. I think it was the only peachy coffee really on that table. And I love peachy coffees, so that's what helped it finish first place on that day. And looking back, this was definitely my favorite of those 5 coffees I had had. Now my recipe for this coffee was I did enjoy a 16.67 to 1 or even a 15.9 to 1 water to coffee ratio at 204 degrees. Onyx is a lighter American coffee roaster, like a light medium, so this is a light medium American roast, and of course I put it through the Chemex. A couple of quick things, the brew guide did suggest 15.9 to 1 water to coffee ratio at 208 degrees. And while I tried that, I didn't like the way it tasted in the Chemex, and we'll discuss that a little further. But obviously they're experts on their own coffee, so they will probably know a little bit better. This is just the way I enjoyed this coffee the most. With all of that out of the way, let's start talking about the coffee. And day 9, super peach forward coffee is very sugary, almost like peach rings, and a slight bit of grapefruit bitterness as it was taping off and the coffee was cooling down. This is day 20 of this coffee, by the way. It's still tremendous. This is a tremendous cup of coffee. Day 11, again, very sweet, very sugary, super peach with a bit of some notable oranges, sweet honey, super pronounced flavors. Day 14, again, super sugary, vibrant peach. Day 11 and day 14 were tremendous days for this coffee. It wasn't one-dimensional either, pretty layered and complex in the sense that it had some beautiful citrus fruits and sweetness. On their brew guide, they talk about how this coffee is a super complex coffee, and I don't know if I would necessarily agree with that sentiment. I found you get a lot of different flavors in this, but they're super pronounced and super easy to pick out, so I found this to be a pretty straightforward and easy coffee to figure out, in my opinion anyway. Day 16, I found their video and I tried using the recipes from their video, 208 at 15.9 to 1. And it came out a little bit more sour for me, some pretty nice peach, but it was a little bit more acidic and a little bit more herbal. And then day 18, again, I just tried the 208 degrees Fahrenheit, still came out a little sour for me. And the grapefruit was a little bit more prominent, but still a super peach forward coffee. All right, let me go ahead and put up the tasting wheel right now so you can see what I was getting. And I love the way that this tasting wheel looks. We have a super sweet coffee, one of the sweeter coffees I've had in a while. Right up there with that, I guess, black and white coffee, but stone fruit's a 5. The peach in this is super pronounced. The grapefruit is pretty pronounced as well, so the citrus fruit is at level 4. Wasn't getting a whole lot of other things. I mean, there was some oranges as well, so those 2 fruits, I mean, 1 at 5, 1 at 4, really, really high on this chart. The florals I feel like were a bit underrated. Maybe some like orange blossom is kind of maybe the best way I could describe this. What are the flavor notes? Oh, they do have orange blossoms as a flavor note, so interesting. Slightly acidic coffee, pretty nice finish, and still somehow a pretty clean cup of coffee too. So you have a lot of pretty extreme highs on this tasting wheel and some pretty notable lows. Like pretty light bodied, not a whole lot of bitterness. No chocolatiness, no smokiness, pretty well skewed tasting wheel on this coffee. All right, let me say this real quick. This has been my favorite coffee of the year so far. I think Onyx knocked it out of the park. I said in the last Onyx review that Onyx either has a coffee that's fine or they have a tremendous coffee, and this one right here for me has been a tremendous coffee. And the type of person I would suggest this to is people that do enjoy those super wild fruity flavors, because especially peach. If you love peach, you have to get this coffee, because this is maybe the most peachy coffee I think I've ever had. But especially for this kind of unique, different, and wild processing method that they have, it was such a joy. And these flavors were tremendous, all of them that I was experiencing. I'm not a big grapefruit person, but even the grapefruit that was coming out of this was a nice sweet grapefruit with just a slight bit of bitterness. I know I kept the bitterness at 0, and I think it's the day I made this tasting wheel. I wasn't getting any sort of grapefruit bitterness or any coffee bitterness as a whole from this coffee. So super enjoyable. I have nothing but praise for this coffee specifically, and I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm curious as well if you've tried this coffee, what your thoughts and opinions are, and still would love to hear any thoughts and opinions on Onyx as well. If you are enjoying the content, give this video a like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But this right here has been a review of the Ethiopia Layered-Ferment Bombe from Onyx. Thank you for watching.